Thanks for joining us on the news at 1, reaching you from the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5, Abuja. I am Salwa Kalal Ibrahim. Now, figures from Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, says the total number of COVID-19 cases in the FCT is 58, with active cases as 33 and 2 deaths. Total number of discharged patients from the Isolation and Treatment Center at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, Gwagwalada, is now 23 in the territory. The patients were discharged having certificates preparatory to their being certified COVID-19 free. Now, to curtail the spread of COVID-19 cases in the territory, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has introduced new measures to enforce compliance of the extension of the cessation of movement directive in the FCT. FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello made this known after the Security Committee meeting. Shuaibu Unuzi Yakubu report that part of the measures is reduction in number of days for market operations in the territory.
The new measures by the FCT administration are as follows. Market operation days is now reduced to only Wednesdays and Saturdays, and residents should only patronize neighborhood markets, as movement from one district to the other now constitute violation of the lockdown directive. Mobile courts will now be activated to try all violators of the directive on the cessation of movement across the FCT. Other measures include ban on motorcycles, popularly known as Okada, as they are barred from operating anywhere in Kubwa and Dutse Alaji during the lockdown. The FCT administration has resolved to step up sensitization campaign, especially in rural communities.
Negative. Mpape community was selected to begin the community case search because of its proximity to Maitama, where most of the confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the FCT were reported. Director of Public Health of the FCT administration, Dr. Josephine Okechukwu, said community outreach had commenced to test persons with coronavirus symptoms and avert any form of community spread. The testing has been extended to Gishiri, Utako, and Mabushi. Now, the ability of government to ensure effective testing of more people in crowded spaces is key to checking community transmission of the deadly coronavirus. Rosemary Maltaleng Bilal witnessed this effort by FCT health authorities in Mabushi area of Abuja.
We were here before we sensitized them. We created awareness tester. Most of them are using it. So when they come here, we have to hand it back to them. Because we are going to see, though there's social distancing, but still not all of them. They still come closer to each other. So we still give them the nose mask so that to protect them.
Part of the Federal Capital Territory.
Sit-at-home order by governments in order to contain the coronavirus pandemic seem to have triggered anger among some Nigerians, as the media space is inundated with reports of confrontation between people and law enforcement agents. From alleged shooting of a motorist for flouting the restriction of movement rule in Delta State to Anambra, where reports indicate 2 youths also suffered the same fate. The twin effect of boredom and idleness is affecting the psyche. In the nation's capital, Area 8 to be specific, these young men engaged each other in a shouting match, almost resulting in fisticuffs. The reason is not far-fetched, as the driver of the brown Toyota Camry refuses to accept he parked wrongly. And later, this accident, which an eyewitness described as a head-on collision in an attempt by one of the drivers to beat the traffic light. This accident occurred very close to the Goodluck Jonathan Expressway. As a matter of fact, directly opposite the Central Bank of Nigeria office complex here at the Central Business District.
Many thanks, Liman Iyaji. And if you just joined us, you are watching the news at 1 on the Unity station. We'll take a break now. More news when we return shortly.
Yeah, what though? This coronavirus, everybody they talk, not be play. Oh. Anybody fit catch am anywhere and e not they show for face. If you catch am, you fit peme. If person wey get a cough or sneeze, parent, anything where the cough touch, if you touch am, can't touch your face, or you even go touch another person, you fit don catch am be that too. Na im make government say make you hear word, make you stay for house, arrange food where you go chop, keep for house. If you dey outside, no shake anybody hand, no dey hug anybody. Dey wash hand every time with soap and water where they flow. Make you wash hand like say you use and touch pepper, come take and clean your face. If water no dey, use hand sanitize am. If you dey cough, body dey hot and no fit breathe, if it be say na coronavirus be that so, make you call this number sharp sharp.
Some people are getting 20-something thousand. Some are getting 30-something thousand. Is it a rocket science?
Our definition of news is getting the unusual in and around the FCT. Fresh and factual, from education, transportation, politics, sports, judiciary, security to the grassroots. You can go on and on. You will find us there.
I'm sure you will be wondering how we bring to you the happenings. Our news teams are always on ground. You'll find our team of reporters.
Residents. Telecommunication giant empowers customers.
NTA Channel 5 Abuja News, always authentic with no room for fake news. We are the Unity station, using the news to unite the nation.
Many thanks for being there. Now, the Federal Capital Territory Administration, as part of effort to ensure compliance to the lockdown directive in the territory, active within the territory to try violators of the stay-at-home order. Asabe Tanimu Williams, who is on an entourage of the ministerial task team on the enforcement of compliance to the lockdown directive, says compilation of record of offenders is ongoing at various mobile courts in the FCT. Now we shall
I don't even have radio. Okay, are you aware of lockdown? Lockdown. We have because of coronavirus. You are aware? Yes. Okay, what do you know about the lockdown?
Now, like I said, we shall bring you details of that report in our subsequent bulletin. Now, against the directive of the lockdown order, which specify only skeletal services for banks, the situation on ground is different as people gathered in their number within the premises of some financial institutions in the FCT. Rosemary Motaling Bilal, who visited some part of Abuja, reported that bank customers are lamenting the difficulty they face in carrying out bank transactions.
Another 14 days of lockdown was announced by President Muhammadu Buhari, and the rules have not changed. Is how to survive with the stay-at-home order, a reality that has prompted them to pursue livelihood. Many who could not gain access into the banking halls despite coming to bank at early hours of the day expressed their frustration.
Yesterday we came, we didn't get anything. Now today, now I came now. I'm sure that I'm not going to get anything from here today now. They say that they are going to be attending to at least five or 10 people they are attending to. And even the 10 people, over 1 hour, you cannot see that the 10 people are not coming out. And when we like want to withdraw money now, there's no chance for us to withdraw. Unless maybe you have money to come and pay in this place. You can then go in there and pay in.
There is process on that bank because you have to use to collect number there before getting into the bank. There are some people that are here for since 8 o'clock in the morning, so they are in the queue here.
In all the branches in our FCT, this is the only branch that is opened. You know, and during Mr. President's address, he directed that the bank should operate skeletal services. You know, but if you look at what is happening, the bank is not operating that. If they had opened every other branches, allowing no one person to enter, if you have issues, like myself, I have issue. My issue was that my ATM was trapped yesterday, you know, in the admission. And I need to do something. The children must feed. And if they don't eat, there's a problem.
From where reports indicate that it is business as usual despite extension of the lockdown. Businesses are booming and people going about their usual activities.
Kubwa is one of the biggest and most populated satellite towns in the Federal Capital Territory. But despite
if you stay at home, there is nothing we can gain.
most shops and traders are all going about their usual businesses.
Nobody will tell you that it's not aware of coronavirus. For me, it is real. But when we don't have anything to eat, and we are telling them to be at home, it will be difficult for them to observe it.
Now only food item they feed. You they have now from here now, maybe from here now, all your family, they feed them.
The few people observing the stay-at-home directive but had to come out for essentials on this particular day say traders are taking advantage of the coronavirus pandemic crisis to hike prices of food items.
Gari of 150 is now 300 a mudu. That is white gari.
There's no way everybody will comply. But the issue is that to stay safe, everybody has to be at home.
If everything is open now, if everywhere is open, the commodities will come down again and we will not be hungry.
One thing in the mouth of many people is hunger. But while everyone wants life to return to normal, it is also important for people to abide with the rules, as it is often said that one can only enjoy life in good health.
Now, FCT Minister of State Ramata Tijani Aliyu has received 1,000 cartons of palliative items from Honeywell Nigeria Limited to support the administration's effort in reaching out to the vulnerable who are adversely affected by the sit-at-home presidential order. Each of the 1,000 cartons contain assorted items which include semolina, noodles, spaghetti, macaroni, and wheat meal.
This is from Honeywell.
FCT to pave way for a hitch-free distribution of palliative items to the vulnerable in rural communities. The minister made this declaration. The Corporate Affairs Commission headquarters in Abuja was gutted by fire yesterday. Hawagimba reported that the swift intervention of the firemen curtailed the fire as the registrar confirmed activities are back to normal.
The Corporate Affairs Commission is located on Tigress Crescent off Aguiyi-Ironsi Street in Maitama district of Abuja, the same street that houses offices of many other government agencies. The fire, which started from the air conditioner power surge, was immediately put off by the joint effort of the FCT and Federal Fire Service. The registrar of the CAC alleged fears of the possible destruction of official records by the fire, saying all records remain intact.
Yeah, it was a minor incident. At about 10:20 hours this morning, our security staff noticed a sound, which was a burst from one of the air conditioner units, the outer duct for the split units. Because we have some of our servers in this building, and our servers are up and running because customers are still submitting their applications and we are approving from our homes. So one of the units burst and it ignited a fire.
The Corporate Affairs Commission is crucial to the nation's economic development, thanks to the fire service operative who were on ground. From the Corporate Affairs Commission in Abuja, I am Hawa Gimba, NTA News.
Yeah, what though? This coronavirus, everybody they talk, not be play. Anybody fit catch am anywhere and e not dey show for face. If you catch am, you fit peme. If person wey get a cough or sneeze, parent, anything where the cough touch, if you touch am, come touch your face, or you even go touch another person, you fit don catch am be that o. Na im make government say make you hear word, make you stay for house, arrange food where you go chop, keep for house. If you dey outside, no shake anybody hand, no dey hug anybody. Dey wash hand every time with soap and water wey dey flow. Make you wash am like say you use am touch pepper, come take am clean your face. If water no dey, use hand sanitize am.